Welcome to another episode from Pro Engineering. What we have here on the workbench is an interesting car. I've actually had this since I was around 4 or 5 years old, if not younger. This is a Mazda RX-7. It happens to be a first generation RX-7, and more importantly, it's an early first generation RX-7 with the smaller taillights and different bumpers and a few other little differences here and there. This toy, let's see, figure out who it's made by. It's made by, I would ignore that sound. It's made by this cat right here. I have the box up on screen right now, but as you can see, the motor used to spin a wheel and the car would just kind of go around bumping into stuff. There we go. Even as a kid, that drove me insane, so I took that whole assembly off to, make it roll, but I always had this vision of making it into an RC car. So that's what we're gonna do. All of this is useless now. The mechanism is kind of cool. It's the motor, which is right there, is driven through this little gearbox here, which spins the front wheel, and then there's another gear right there which spins this other. I forget what this particular, it's like a bevel gear setup, but much cheaper since there's no bevel gear and this is a little stamped piece of sheet metal. That gear spins this shaft, which goes to a little spring, which then spins this, so it looks like the roof light is operational. Needless to say, we're not going to use that. This is the body that we're going to use. I will cut off the front and the back of the chassis right here so that it does have the front air dam and the rear underbody as well. But check this out. We do have operational headlights that will make those work. There are some little issues which we're going to talk about right now. The big problem is that the headlights don't actually point straight. So you could have the headlight down a bit more, which will help, but now it's there. So what I did is I redesigned this panel, this little black piece, and I did the best I could because it's weirdly designed in the first place. You can see how it's kind of curved at the top, and then this depth is actually greater than this depth, and it's a weird system. So what I did is I designed this, which you can see from the front is canted backwards. It's not going to solve the problem. It's going to put it from where it is to probably about there, which is much more vertical, but more importantly, it'll only have to be tilted down a bit to get a flat or forward-facing headlight. The lens will go in on top like that. The LEDs are at the top and at the bottom because I believe there's a mounting, there's a mounting screw right in the middle, so that's not going to work. But I think it'll actually light up really nicely like this. So that's the headlights taken care of. Made some wee emblems. Look at that. I just love shapeways. So I designed the RX-7 emblem. It's supposed to say Mazda RX-7. Ignore this. This goes on the rear deck. Right in front of that, it has the Mazda script and the same script as the rear piece, but a lot smaller. So I'm like, that's not going to come out too good. So we'll just do the standard RX-7. Some other little goodies here. We have the front turn signal right there in clear. We have the front side marker right there. And we have the tail light. Now the tail light is interesting. So if we look at the stock taillights and you compare this to a regular RX-7, and the people that designed this body did make the taillight too large. Therefore, the plan is to make it look a little bit more correct by making this the taillight, and this component here will be glued in place at the top, filled, and basically extend the body down. I think this is like 3 millimeters. The taillights still won't be 100% accurate, but it'll be more accurate. So we'll put those on as well. I thought about making the car a Japanese police car, but then I realized how much I love a stock RX-7. And more importantly, I have a special set of custom 3D printed wheels that I'm going to use on this car. Therefore, the rear view mirrors, which look just hideous, will be removed and filled. The large hole on the roof will be removed and filled. The glass, which unfortunately has a big crack through the middle of it, will be reinforced and all of the windows painted black. And we'll try and differentiate that a bit by painting the hatchback molding, perhaps in matte black, or maybe we'll reverse that and do these in matte black. We'll see. Needless to say, the body is beautiful. For those of you out there who are saying, well, Tamiya makes one already. I know, I had it. I don't like it. That's better. Here is the chassis we're going to use. This is a M01, so we're just going to reverse everything to make this rear-wheel drive. The wheelbase is Not too far off. This body will not be removable, therefore the side door access battery is not going to work. On top of that, we're going to mount the body using these holes here on the side. Therefore, we're going to use this chassis that I designed. Servo goes in here at a 90-degree angle. It'll still use all the same factory mounting. The battery will go in here from the bottom. It'll accept a standard 2200 milliamp lithium polymer battery. I don't run any large batteries anymore. Now I use a lot of tiny stuff. So this will be in the center of the car, adjusting the wheelbase appropriately. And the body mounting scheme is going to be kind of adjustable because, you know, when you're dealing with stuff like this, it's hard to align everything and get it perfectly engineered when, you know, the body's in one piece and the chassis is in another. So basically, we're going to use these two bits. Let me see if I can remember how to do this now. I believe. So the body mounting system here will go on the side. This will allow for vertical travel of 10 millimeters. And then this will bolt onto the side like that and allow forward and back travel, allowing us to finally adjust the body. So before I do anything, I want to paint these pieces in a matte black, and then we'll build the chassis. The chassis has been put together. I went ahead and used the longer front section from the M02L, so that worked really well. The tires are temporary right now. These are from the Beetle. These are a larger diameter. In fact, when we compare it to the tires from the Mini Cooper, you can see how much smaller these are. Well, actually, I don't know if you can. There we go. We can kind of compare them here. So this project here ended up being, this was the chassis I was going to use for this car, but then I decided that since this Fiat is front-wheel drive, we'll just switch. I made a little adapter here so that the shorter rear section from the M01 would give it the same length as the long wheelbase version. And focusing back here, you can see that the body mounts are adjustable vertically and they are adjustable front to rear. So we should be able to throw the body on this, align that nicely, and then we can set the offset for the wheels.